Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We got the dollar index again, lifting softly and steadily up, not exploding, just kind of inching its way up. And I guess you could say, in the other side of that is that the pairs trades across the world against the dollar are slowly leaking on the downside, and we see the dollar now at a 9-month high, but it's not much further than where it was yesterday. But it's just little increments, just pushing, and it is the nature of it all at this point. We've talked about it here. They're trying to understand what 2 more quarter% increases in interest rates will show, or how it'll have an effect on the economy, or I don't know. In other words, it's all a guessing game for a lot of these analysts. They're not very sharp. I guess that's why they're analysts. They're salesmen of some form. It's hard to say. Some of them are brilliant, make total sense, and they do make sense. But a lot of them are just like I heard an analyst come out this morning from was it J.P. Morgan Chase, that we're going to see $150 oil, and then asked when. He said, 3 years. Okay. And then at the same time, he said, well, what do you think you'll see this year? Will you see $100 oil? And he said, no. So, these analysts have all kinds of interesting concepts and ideas, but in the end result is that I'm not sure if they're just trying to scare you or convince you to buy something from them or what. It's an odd thing there. We always looked at the stats with analysts. Something like, out of every 100 stocks that analysts recommend, something like 97 or 96 are longs. They want you to buy. And something like 3 or 4 out of the 100 are shorts or liquidate. So they seem to always be pushing a very lopsided agenda in the end result. And so, this morning we look at the dollar index, and it's like we've been saying, I'm always more of a dollar bear than a bull, but the math just keeps on screaming at us from the rooftop, and as loud as it can, keeps on showing all that weekly buying. You can see it right there on our new platform right there, and then you can see over here on J4X. Let's fix J4X. Let's get that going. There's the Hinky Ashkies. You see green. That's the daily. And where is my? Where's I guess let's see if we can find file, workspaces. Let's see. There it is right there. Let's see if that's the one. The old Manhattan indicators, as it works its way through. There we go. And so you can see here on the daily, the fast algorithm is at 85.6, and the slow is at 78.9. So it's still bullish there. And then when we go over and look at it on a week-to-week basis, it'll match up with our work over here. It's been climbing like a rocket ship, just like this has been climbing like a rocket ship on the weeklies. And so as much as we want to be flat or short dollars, and people come into the webinar here and ask, when can we sell it? It's like when we go into a weekly sell. Hey, Janos, Doc, about the feeds, there are errors of some sort that Jeff encountered. I sent it to the person responsible, but he is on vacation this week. You can tell him that. And we got on no backups for the things. Okay, that's cool. I'll let him know. But this is a good start. We need to get there with the currencies, because we are a currency webinar first, and then from there we drift into the commodities and the stocks and and so forth. And so we want to always try to get the best currency data we can get, and so that makes sense to be going to Dukascopy. So. And let's see, there we are. Let's paste that. I'm going to send that over to Jeff and let him know. There we are. Okay. There we go. I just sent it over to him. Excellent. So from there, uh, the someone just sent me a picture of Hunter Biden with no shirt on in an F-16, saying, they lost an airplane over here about a week ago, and so they have a picture of Hunter Biden drugged out in an F-16 with no shirt on. That's so funny. Oh my. Let's see. From their website, we got no backups for these things. This is not surprising, but if the data is free, that's really cool. Excellent. There we are. So, back to the dollar, basically. And what it really comes down to is that, and let's, what we should do is we should put the bond up there. I just want to see what, I heard people saying that they were really surprised at the way the 10-year bond dropped, on Monday. It's really pressing down. Let's see, I'll show it to you on the old platform. Right there, you can see it's breaking down. Good dip yesterday. You can see it's been in a weekly sell for a while here like that. Let's put it up on J4X too. It has all the influence in the world. Let me just do this. Let's leave on J4X the dollar index, and you see how the weeklies have been going up, and then you can see here, when it comes to the weeklies on the 30-year, you can see right there. I think it slides into the sell like right there, and you can see it's been riding down. When this goes down, interest rates are rising, and when it goes up, interest rates are dropping. I know it's like crazy reverse, and so you can see here. Here's J4X with the dollar index, and you can see it's just been climbing and climbing and climbing, and that's what our math is constantly trying to tell us. And we all want to have common sense, and we think that, okay, the dollar might be overvalued and so forth, but unfortunately there's no other real game in town that can compensate for the issues as much as the BRICS really try to come up with something. They're hoping that they come up with something. They're hoping that they can get a little bit more control, but they don't really understand. These BRIC nations don't understand that it's not the currency itself, it's the policies of the government. When think about it. What is one of our greatest examples here in currency trading? It's been the euro against the dollar. I'm sorry, the euro against the Turkish lira. All right, we've watched a Western-style economy be, influenced by a prime minister, then becoming the president of that country, introducing new policies. And so at one time, let's go over to the Turkish lira up on J4X, and then we can go back to this. But it really comes down to something a lot of people in trading hate to talk about, and that is policy and taxes. And you can see, what is that? That's the Euro Turkish lira, and that is one. This goes back to Prime Minister then / President Aragon. It was trading in the 5s and the 6s, and I'm sure if we put on a quarterly thing or a monthly thing like this, you can see there the product was trading in the 1s. Okay, and this is back in, I think Aragon became prime minister back in that time period. Then he became president in here, and since he's become president, it's just accelerated dramatically. And this is policies. This is not like some magician walks out with a trick on a stage. This is policies of the government, and their parliament has allowed it to happen. Their constitution, if they have a constitution, their laws have allowed it to happen, and the people who vote every election has allowed it to happen. They believe that this policy is a good policy. So when their currency goes from basically 1.6 to 31, it's not magic. It's not because the clouds are covering over the sun, or production, or mining, or these other things. It's policy. It's when the government takes more money away from the public to pay for projects they believe are right and good for the people, this is what you get. So in other words, they have an old saying about taking money from Peter to pay Paul, or taking money from one pocket and putting it in the other and then thinking that you have twice the amount now. As I sip my tea. It doesn't work that way. And people really fight to try to justify the idea that we shouldn't talk about government policy. We shouldn't discuss the philosophy of economics. We shouldn't look at the historical events of economics and see what policies work and which ones don't. People like to run away from that. And, that chart you're looking at right now is a good example of it. And the reason why the dollar is so strong is the policies of the United States are way better than the rest of the world. And and if you can pretend it's because we're the world reserve currency, or you can pretend we've stolen it. You can pretend all those things. So then what's it say about Turkey with the way that currency's moved? Have they stolen it, or have they flat out killed things? Currency goes from basically 1 and change to 31. How do you describe that compared to what you describe, other people describe with the dollar, or countries, to say that they're abusing, I don't know. It's such an extreme to look at that. And that's why we always call the euro and the Turkish lira in particular, we always look at that as it's like looking at a laboratory experiment. It's a laboratory experiment, and we're watching it in real time, and we see the policies of the government, how they've changed since the former prime minister, now president, have changed them. And I guess they try to say it's earthquakes, or it's it's bad luck, it's whatever, but they don't want to look at the actual fact itself. It's right there. So anyhow, I just have to get that off my chest, because I sit there and I watch this, and I know it's bad policy. Hey, Robin, I know it's bad policy, but when I suggest it to a lot of people, they go, "Oh, I don't want to hear about politics when I'm talking about money." I'm thinking to myself, money is maneuvered and controlled by politics all the time, 100%. It's like the weather on the earth, the sun. Without the sun, we don't exist. Excuse me. And they want to tell us it's SUVs hurting our solar system right now. Not only the earth has weather changing, it's even more dramatic across all the planets in our solar system. I read and watch NASA reports. It's happening everywhere. It's just no one wants to talk about it. So, anyhow, that's where we are. That's where we're at. Blah blah blah. And so let's go take a look at the euro now. And you can see the European Union obviously is doing a lot more right, because their currency hasn't gone from 1 to 29. It hasn't gone from 1 to 5. It's gone from 1. As I throw it up on the screen right here, it's gone from 1 to 1.06. Hey, Joe, say hello to the world.
Hey, hello, world.
Cool. I'm on my webinar right now. I'll be done in 45 minutes.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. And so, there it is there. I mean, wouldn't Turkey be happy if their currency went from 1 to 1.5, or 1 to 1.40, not 40, 1.40. The euro hasn't gone to 2. It broke below the 1, and it's back over it again. I mean, that's a more consistent economic policy. It's not necessarily growing much, but they're surely not destroying the value of their currency. So, yo, Robin. All right, so there's the euro. Let's take a look at it over here. That's until Jeff gets Dukascopy data feed going right on our system. We're going to show you the euro future, because I want you to at least see the math on some level besides just on J4X and then Chicago Quant. I try to. And I'm doing what we're asking everybody else to do, is we're trying to back test. There it is right there, I think, 680. There we are. We're trying to back test and look at, the new platform. And you can see there is the, let's put it up on there like so. There it is. You can see it's been moving down, just like it's doing over here on J4X, moving down. And you can see it's been in a daily sell for a while in here. You see all that action. You see all that red, like you see right here, all that red. And then you can see on the weekly basis, right there, it's been in a weekly sell for weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks now. And when we go over to J4X with the Manhattan indicator, you can see basically the same thing. There's 3, there's 4 right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and it's going on the 9th week into a sell. And you see it, it started somewhere around here on the 8th week, where you can see the fast was at 82. And what's the date there? Does it show the date? Yeah, the 17th. So it's at 82.6, and on the same date, right there, it's at 81. So it's not in the sell yet until it gets to and that's what we do. We follow the math, and the analysis of the math is always much more accurate than I try to figure out the story, but a lot of times the story gets twisted and turned, and there's a lot of different things going on. But I'll tell you, the math has a lot more comfort to itself. It stays true to itself more, and it gives us better direction. And you can see it on our Manhattan indicator on J4X, and you can see the same thing with over on our new platform that we're slowly developing, our beta test here. And let me just do this real quick just to explain what it is in the end result right there. And this is currently our under beta testing. This is our interactive charting quant trading system, and that's that's what we're playing with at the moment, trying to figure out, what's it say, the trading method for moments and months. And I guess yesterday Janos threw up the 10-second or 20-second chart. That was pretty cool. And everything we looked at, you could see the movement and the accuracy with the Manhattan indicator on that, giving it a lot of good direction. So, all right. So from there, we inch our way over to the British pound, which seems to be relatively well working on this. Don't ask me why, but Jeff told me, my son who's programming this, he said that the data feed that we're taking it from actually collects the data of the British pound every day, but for some reason it doesn't collect it on the euro, which is the second most active currency in the world. I don't get that, but you never know. Go, what do they say? Live and learn. That's basically what it comes down to. Live and learn. And so there it is right there. And there's you can see all that downwardly pressure. You see they tried to pop it yesterday, right there. Let's go see what it looks like over on J4X. There it is right there. Just that long drive down. I guess you could say, you can see this right there. It's in a sell for a while, goes into a buy, back into a sell, back in a buy, back in a sell again, putting pressure on it. Goes into a buy with this little hiccup here, and then next thing, I guess that's the hiccup is really there, because it's that's only 6 days, so that's the hiccup right there with that little green dot, and it goes into the buy, and the next thing you know is goes right back into the sell again. The pressure is down. Showed that there on Friday. They're showing a buy. Let's just take a look at the Hinky and turn it off for a second, just to see if we can see that. See, that's back 5 days ago. 6 days back, just like that, 6 days back. And they're not reflecting that on the American data feed that we're getting, which I don't think is as good. I really do think that getting something out of Europe would be so much better. And so you see that. Then we slip over to here and take a look at it. Right. Oh, no, not that one. Go to here. There we are. And we go right there to the British pound. And you see this data feed in America is fine. And it's been gliding down, 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 down. And daily sell for a while. Weekly sell for a while. That pressure is there. It doesn't let go. That's because, the interest rates keep on going up. It costs more money for the carry trade, and all the other things that always go on. Speaking of carry trade, that makes me always think about the Japanese yen, because they've been borrowing money through the carries trade over the years by giving the investors a nice little sweet interest rate. So there's the cable at this point, just pushing down and down, down. And I thought they were going to park themselves. Let's see if we can tighten this up a little bit. But I thought they were going to park themselves around here, and they seem to be breaking a little bit more. They're already now moving down to the 0.38, which is a little surprising. I thought they were going to stall out here and use this as the support, but it's breaking down more. And again, why? More sellers than buyers, but we pick it up because of our math. Our math reads it coming, weeks ago now. Way back in here, in the 127.28 area, we go into a weekly sell, and you can see it zigzags like every market does, and slowly finds itself down to the 122 area now, breaking under 122 to 121.89. So you can see that pressure on there, and what's telling us that, traders? The math. We see it. It's right there, and that's why we do the webinar. We have a good math. We develop an indicator for the public indicator for J4X. It's a good math. It keeps you safe. It keeps you in the right direction, and only your way of trading will hinder that. But our math and the math on J4X and so forth will keep you honest and safe if you invest correctly or trade correctly, so that you're not squeezing yourself. You're not trying to hit the home run or the sixer for the British cricket players, or the 1-0 win in football. So. All right. From there we go over to the Swiss, which surprised me a little bit more. Look at the way that thing just keeps on aiming up. It's adjusting to the interest rate situation, and we've seen this product now go from the. Let's see, what was it? Let's put it up on J4X. I think it's like the 87s or 86s. There. I mean, we got down to 85, almost 86 and change, 85 and a half. And now we're trading at 91 and a half. That's a big move, and that's the interest rates. And we even done webinars talking about it, how the hedge funds and managers and the retirement fund managers are basically fighting the Federal Reserve. As far as they're concerned, it is not happening. And here we are, it's happening. And they still fight it every day. And that's because they like the dollar cost. First of all, they're trading other people's money, so that's one good reason. They wouldn't trade their own money that way, more than likely. And that's why they trade other people's money. And then at the same time, you have a lot of believers that look down the road. They look 3 to 6 or 7 months down the road and try to figure out what the market will be then, and they try to build their positions to be in position to benefit from that. And so money is looking at the markets, and as we've been saying, they've been looking at the election. Again, people don't want to hear about politics in markets, but there's not much of a choice. And so they're anticipating a change of government, and that change of government gets slowly leaking into the market, and that's why you're not seeing wholesale selling. You see very mild selling. You see selling that's soft. It's leaky like a rowboat with a little water coming in, but nothing that will sink the boat. And so sellers are not very comfortable about being short, as much as they're just trying to rotate out of their position and adjust their position to other things. And that's what's going on at this point in time. All right. So from there, let's see, there's cable. And so from cable, let's go over to yen. No, this is the Swiss. So let's go from there. Let's put yen up there now. And there's dollar yen on J4X. You see the highs now in the 149s. Put the hinky up again, like so. And you see that pressure that's going on. You see we're at the top end of the range, trading at 88.3 with a slow moving at 75.7. So there's still strength coming in. over here. Let's see, where was it at? I don't think we can get this on there at the moment. Let's see. JPY. See if we can find it. Let's put it up on this one over here to start off with. There's JPY. You see it pushing up, being in that daily buy now for the whole month of September. It's been in a daily buy for the whole month of September, and we're going into the last week. And we've been in a weekly buy since the beginning of August in the 142 area. And here we are flirting with the 149 area now. So, we've been somewhat concerned that we were probably going to see that 149, 150 area. And today we've reached the 49 area. So we've reached the bottom end of where we were concerned about, and we're concerned more of it may get to the high 149 area. Let's see, no questions there. Things are just moving along smoothly. Anybody want to see anything? Remember, traders, I am glad to stop what I'm doing and look at something else. I have no problem doing that. That's the way we roll around here, and it's fun because I just go through all the products that we follow every day, and we talk about them, and try to understand what's going on. Look at their trends. You see what the J4X is saying about it with the Manhattan indicator, and that's. But it doesn't bother us here if you throw something out. If you want to go look at something, it doesn't matter what it could be. Google stock. It could be the euro again. Whatever you're interested in. SPY. Okay, let's look at SPY. Thank you, Robin. And let's see, where is Mr. and Mrs. SPY? Right there. Now, SPY's trying to lift up today, which is kind of interesting at the moment. We're seeing a little more strength. We're seeing that the product is, trying to bottom out, I guess you could say. It's trying to do something. You can see the weekly's not joining in, of course. We've been in that weekly sell since the, 450 area. We fell down to 435, and now we're in the 429, just underneath 430. And so you can see there it's, showing some strength here, I guess you could say, right there. We'll see if that keeps up. Let's see what it looks like over here. There's SPY right there. The SPY's doing the same thing over there. It's flirting. And let's put it up on J4X too. Yo, Joe.
I might have lost my license just now.
Oh, no, are you? Is there an officer right there or something?
I got pulled over. I ran a light, but I pulled over right away.
Good. Very good. That's a good thing.
I think I'm going to lose my license. That's how it works.
Oh, well, just go by the book. Stay the course, and I'll call you in another 32 minutes.
What should I do if I don't have a car again?
We'll figure that out. We always do. Okay?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
You let me go.
That's cool. That's excellent. All right, I'll talk to you in 30 minutes. Just go slow and safe. There we go. My friend is having some issues, and he just got pulled over by a traffic cop, and he was worried he was going to lose his license, and the guy just gave him a ticket. So, all right. So where are we at? We were heading for the SPY on J4X. Let's put the S&P 500 up on there real quick. It's the same thing. It's just one is in a futures form, one's in a stock form. Right there. S&P 500. You can see that pressure that's on the S&P, and you can see at the same time, it's been pressing down. Matter of fact, you're seeing on the new platform. Let me show you this too. Look at this, Robin, on our new platform. It's trying to perk up too. We got a red and a green going on at the moment, and we can see that our lines are drawing to the plus side, just like we're doing over here, right there. Doing the same thing, trying to lift up. So That's a good sign. And then you can see the weekly's just been in a sell for a while. It doesn't want to let go. It's been more base. To me, it looks more like a base building than anything else. I really, I see it that way. I see it more as a base building. Um, I really, over and over, I try to emphasize. I really think that money doesn't want to leave the market as much as they're trying to just rotate out of one area into another of the market. And by doing that, they'll be all set for if the government changes, which it looks like it's going to do. Better policies are ahead. You can see what Mr. Trump's first 4 years were like, some of the best economy we've ever had. And so unemployment and people's wages were climbing. The average person made more money percentage-wise than the wealthy did. In other words, their gains were greater. He was smoothing it out, making things much more fairer so the little guy doesn't get beat up. And then the policies changed and they went back to the reverse again. The rich are getting richer, and the poor are feeling the pain more. That's what inflation does, and that's what taxation does, and this is what bad policies do. So just like looking at the Turkish lira going from 1 and change to 31, that's not magic. That's not me lying. That's not me fantasizing. That's not me being unhappy with the former prime minister or president now. It's just a fact. We see it on the charts. We see it in the money. It's there. And nothing can take that away. So no matter what anybody wants to say, in the end result is the policies have an effect. They have a major effect. And that's what money's trying to tell us now. And when we look at the dollar, we're seeing the same thing. We keep on seeing that little leaky situation against the pairs and not see the dollar go down, but we see the pairs go down. Because the policies of the dollar are better than the policies of the other countries. That's what it comes down to. And I'd be, for a trader, an old Wall Streeter like myself, I'd be very happy to see the world have better policies, so we'd have more competition. More competition makes America a greater place to be. Less competition, you get these people that want to outlaw ceiling fans and not allowed to have gas stoves, and they want you to only own an electric car, and they want all these other strange things that have no relationship to economics. They're all just part of a political religious philosophy. So that is what it is. All right, from there, I sip my cup of tea. That's what I do. It's morning time here in the United States. It's 9:03. So from there we go from the S&P 500. We go back to, which currency were we looking at last? We were looking at the yen. And from the yen we jump over to the laboratory that we just looked at, the Euro Turkish lira, the epicenter of policy. Looking at the Euro Turkish lira is like, looking at the actual experiment. It's like doing genetics with what do they call it, fruit flies, because they have such a short-term lifespan of 1 and 2 days, 3 days. So some fruit flies have a lifespan of almost a day. Some have a lifespan of 3 days. So they can do genetic experiments on them and see evolutionarily what effect it has. And when we look at the charts, we're doing the same thing. We're looking at the evolutionary effect of the policies. And so let's put it up on there now. Where's it at? Right there. There it is. So, let's see. Go like that. Someone dunged me. So he was dunging me. Like that. Like that. It's a Federal Reserve thing. Okay. And let's see. Just Indigenous Peoples Day, really? The Federal Reserve will be closed on Monday, October 9th in observance of Indigenous Peoples Day. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, God. All right. Yeah, so from there, I got to give it OMG on that. I had a conversation with somebody this morning about the way it is around the planet with finance and so forth, and what we talked about this morning. Crazy people. That's what it comes down to. All right. So from that, we'll go over to the BRICS. We try to find the competitor. As a trader, I want to see the best. I want to see the best trading. I want to see it all. And so we go and look at the number one BRIC in the world, and that is the South African Rand. Let's go over to it. Where is Mr. and Mrs. Rand? ZAR. It's around here somewhere. It's ZAR. ZAR, ZAR, ZAR. There it is, ZAR. And we're not getting a good data feed on this. We can see the weekly at least. Yeah. Look at that. Just as we thought it was going to be safe to get back into the metals when it went into the weekly sell, it's turning around and twisting its way back up into the weekly buy. Let's go check it out over here on J4X. This is the South African Rand. And what we do is we go and look at all the metals when we start doing the same. That's the daily. It's trying to turn up. And at the same time, let's look at the weekly. There's the weekly. It's still red. The fast is at 54. The slow is at 60. So the pressure's still down on that. Let's see. Indigenous people. Example, American Indians are indigenous. Okay, good. Communities, peoples, nations, those. Yeah, crazy stuff. Yep, indigenous people. All right, so there's the South African Rand. Let's go, and that's the weekly. Let's take a look at gold. Let's put gold up on there. And there is, we'll leave it up on J4X, that, and then go over to the gold. Let's see, where are you, gold? I saw it pushed into the sell yesterday. Obviously picking up on that South African Rand strength. You can see right there, there's the sell. And it's got 2 days of red. And I think over here you're going to see, right, where's it at? Right here. Let's put that in there. There's gold. Yeah, we're on a second day of sell there. You can see over here we have it as just 1 day. And seems it should be catching up. And so then over on J4X, let's just look at J4X on a daily. And slide in gold. Right there. See that pressure for the last couple of days. It's like 3 days into it. Let's see, right, not there. That would be it right there. So it was at 57 on the, what was that, the 21st, 57. And on the 21st there, it was at 74. So it's been in the sell for 3 days now. Boy, it's like Grand Central Station here. I'm getting texts in every direction. Mm-hmm. There. So from there, you can see. Let's put it up over here. Right there. See that pressure on it there too. Same thing. And the weekly, doing the same thing. We're in that. We're pushing down on that weekly, and I'm sure J4X is starting to pick that up also. Yep, doing the same thing. It's been flipping back and forth for a couple weeks actually. And so it's got the pressure there. You see it's trading at 41.2, and the fast is at, the slow is at 50.4. So, it's pressing into that sell with no problem. Really thought that we were going to see metals actually lift up going into the holiday season. So I guess we have to go take them down one more time before they try to take them back up again. It seems to be the recipe to it all. And so at this point, the metals are probably going to give us a little more downward pressure. We're probably going to see the South African rand rise against the dollar. In other words, lose money against the dollar. And then from there, we'll go over and take a look at silver. There's silver. You can see silver is trying to play into the sell today, but the weekly is also penetrating there. Let's put it up over here. And there it is right there. It's been pushing down for weeks now. It's been trying to, press down on the weekly. The daily just started breaking down the last couple of days. The daily had been riding all the way up to the 2375 area or 76 area. And then over here, let's find the silver here. There it is right there. And you can see it's trying to do its thing on the downside. Let's put that up on the screen. There's right there. 2 red days in a row, and at the same time now it's confirming the sell today. So we're seeing that pressure in there. It was an interesting little bounce. The weekly was right there, and you can see the weekly now is pressing hard down. So, again, interest rates affect the metals in the cost of carry. So a lot of time when you have a fear of interest rates rising, they sell the metals. And then when they see the interest rates starting to roll over, they start to buy them. And I would say that the strength we saw, let's go back on J4X a little bit further. The strength we saw in silver was probably more, see how it got up into the 25s. It was probably the anticipation, that every time it bounced, it tried to make high. It's a triangle, definitely, what's going on here. But you could see that the triangle form was really right here more than anything else. Every time it bounced, it made a new high, and didn't make a new low, and made it high, and didn't make a new low. And it got trapped in that. It wants to go up. I think it wants to build a base, and that's what we're seeing now. Is we're seeing this base building effect, and then once we get past probably the next interest rate increase, once we get past that. Maybe things will start to lift for the metals. Not sure, but we'll watch the math. In the end, we have to trust the math. So that's always where we're at. Trust the math, and follow the math, and be the math. And so there's the silver. Now let's jump over to copper, HG. Right there. There's December copper. That's been in a sell for like 5 days now. You see the weekly's been pressing down here. Let's put it up over on J4X. There it is right there. See the same thing on the daily. Bunch of days down, pressing down, and at the same time, the weekly right there. Let me put it up over here while I'm waiting for that to load. Yeah, so you've got over 3 weeks in a sell. Same thing here on the older platform that we're trying to get the new platform to match up to. You see here it's went into a weekly buy up in here, failed, went right back into the weekly sell, and it's still leaking on the downside. And you can see the daily was a sell there, and not there, no, not there, just missed it. And that pressure is, this is the China. I always call this the China index. Watching copper, we see the way of the Chinese market. Let's see if we can put a Hong Kong market up there. Another ding. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Another ding. Let's see. Mm-hmm. So, Indigenous Day. I'm getting texts about Indigenous Day that the Federal Reserve just announced. It's Columbus Day. That's what it is. And so they've always closed. It's always been a banking holiday, but they're making noise out of it. Yeah. So let's go from copper. We'll go to platinum. There's platinum. As you can see, platinum has been in sell for 3 days. The weekly is, forming with no problem into a sell. Again, more disappointment when we see this indicator do that. It's a sign of weakness in the metals, and you can see it now. Silver is trying to do that. So let's see. Let's put platinum up there. Where is platinum on this thing? There it is, right there. And there it is. The platinum sees the same way. It's 3 days, and it's falling into the weekly sell as we speak. Same situation right there. Pressure down, 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 and down. So, all right. Now from there, we go over to the energy sector and take a peek at what's going on with energies. And there is the front month crude. Put that up on the screen. And let's take a look at Brent over here on a daily. I understand that the Brent West Texas Intermediate spread now is the cost of shipping at this point. So it's falling in line. It can go our way, it can go, away from us. And the end result is that's where they're trading it at, the cost of shipping it to America. That's what the premium is now. And you can see there, it's been pressing down for like 7 days now, oil. Really not going anywhere in particular when you really think about it. I mean, you're talking about right there for days upon days. All we do is hang around the 90 area. We're just a little underneath it today at 89.48. And then when we go and look at the back months, right there, the January contract. So basically it's trading almost $3 differential. So the January is trading at 86.44, and the spot contract here is trading at 89.44, basically at 47 as we speak. So it's over $3 down. I heard a trader. It was a trader yesterday was talking about 7 month out is $7. 7 month out is $7 difference. So in other words, with the front month at 89.40, it's trading at 82.40 7 months out, which is interesting. And so that is the action we're seeing there. Now let's go take a look. When we look at all this at the same time, let's slide over to the Canadian dollar right there, dollar CAD. You see dollar CAD going down means it's gaining against the dollar, which normally says that energy is moving up. But it's basically just bottomed at this point. It looks like it's developing a bottom in here, building a base to go up. As I said about the JP Morgan Chase analyst, said, oh yeah, oil's going to 150 in 3 years. I said that to you about 10 minutes ago when I was complaining about analysts might be more out to sell something than they are out to give you good solid direction. And so that's what we see now. All right, from there we're going to look at natural gas. And there's the natural gas. You can see there that pressure on it. It was trying to climb up this morning. You can get rid of that line now. And it's just pressing. Nat gas. So 4 days in a sell. It's 2, 4, going on a 6th week in a sell from the $3.20-ish area, 15 area. Let's put it up over here. There's gas right there. That's the daily, and it's not reflecting the weakness yet. You can see the fast is trading at, where's the fast at? 83, and the slow is at 65, so it's still got pressure on the upside as much as, is that right? Yeah, I guess that is. They're both natural gas. Yep. I guess if we turn off the hinky, it straightens out the look more. Yeah, there's that little gap up. In this case here, that's the gap up on the Friday. And we were up on Friday, but not a gap up. Interesting. Let me just go over to the exchange real quick and take a quickie look to see how the exchange is reflecting that same thing. Maybe I have some bad data. Or not. Let's see. And that could be spot too. Let's see. Let's go to their futures contract. And we're looking at November oil. And so November oil, no, it's okay. Ours is all right. There's no gap. We don't have the gap there. Now let's see if that's October oil. That could be October oil. We could be watching, a spot. No, it's still the same too. Okay, that's curious. All right, one more text again. Let me answer this. Text me when you start coming back. There we are. There we go. Might be. Okay. So, that's natural gas. Now what we do is we drift over to the gas company in Spain, because it seems to follow the price of oil, natural gas in Europe. And you can see here, the stock has been dropping. And we can also put that up on the screen on our new platform too. We have that stock in there so we can see how our math is reading that, like so. Our math works really well with stocks, because there's only like one feed across the planet of them, really. So right there, and you can see that same thing. It looks identical to J4X there, and then so you can see that pressure on it, and it moving down the whole bit, and that really does show what's going on there with the natural gas in Europe. And so I'm assuming, it's at least it's moved out of the 27s down to the low 26s. Matter of fact, today, at one point it broke the 26. At one point it shows right there. So the low today is 25.84. So that's a pretty good thing there. All right, traders. I basically have gone the path, and I don't see any questions out there. So we're gonna get ready for the U.S. Open in a matter of 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes. So this is Doc. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We will see you tomorrow on Happy to Hump Day. So happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Be safe, be smart, traders out there. Use your stops. Be smart. Take profits. Janos, talk to you later. I'm going to be down with my son Jeff. I'll talk to him too today. If anything, we'll text you. He wants to move the pigs or something. He needs help moving pigs. Wee! Wee! Ta-ta for now.